Ladies, are you ready?
Oh, it's time. Let's go. Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Clock In. I'm Shaima.
I'm Suheir.
So, this year in 2026, Happy New Year, first thing. Suhair and I decided we've already shown and recorded so many episodes. And then, except for the first episode where we introduced briefly who we are, why we were doing clock in, but we never introduced to you what we do. Okay. So we thought, Suhair and I, let's make a nice quick twist and perhaps introduce to you our professional profile rather than our personal profile that we sent in episode 1. And if you don't know what clock in is, go back to episode 1 and you'll know why this clock in podcast is. So as we start the year, I want to start by introducing our lovely Suhair. And this time, instead of her being the co host with me, Suhair is my guest for this episode, and I am your only host. Live with it. So,
Thank you, Shaima.
you're welcome. So, Suhair, you and I know each other since over a decade, right? And what a decade. What a journey you and I have been.
Definitely.
And it's been a lovely knowing you, really.
Same
One of
here.
my closest friends. And when I met you first, you had just taken on a new assignment
True.
of heading a contact center.
Mhm.
And I wanted to ask you, because that's so strange. It's something you never tried before. And you took up that challenge. Could you take us through, you know, that challenge itself? What was it about? And how did it feel like trying something you've never tried before?
You're taking me back now in time.
Good, right? Blast to the past.
It was a totally different experience actually than what I've done before, whether be it distribution or sales, where I worked only with the dealers. But when I took this assignment, or when I was offered to take this assignment, I was actually reluctant in the beginning if it was going to stay the same way it was, because the contact center, unfortunately, was like a post office. An email will come from a customer, or a complaint will come from a customer. We will just answer them. Then we will go and tell them, okay, we will get back to you in 24 hours or 48 days, whatever the timeline we give them. We never solve their problems, nothing. And then we will hang up and go to the dealer. They will try to get an answer, an email going, an email coming, etc. Okay. For me, when I took it, I took the permission of the director at that time. And I say, if I'm going to take this assignment, would you allow me to be empowered and change things?
Oh, that's
And luckily,
important.
100%.
You can't do anything if you don't have the power.
100%. And he was very supportive, which actually was good for me, because this gave me the feeling that I can make a difference and learn, not just follow something that's not working, maybe 100%. And for me, I don't know if we mentioned this before, I've always wanted from day one to build my own portfolio. So every new assignment, whatever that assignment was, I took it as a challenge to learn something new.
That's a part of the growing, right?
100%. And we should learn something new every day,
Time.
because everything changes on daily basis, and sometimes even less than daily. So that's what I did. I was very happy that I was offered this assignment. I took it. It was challenging, and the timing at that time was actually very challenging, because the contact center was in Egypt, and we are in Dubai, based in Dubai. I was working with General Motors, and it's an assignment with General Motors, and it was during the Arab Spring, actually.
Oh,
So all the challenges all over, but I welcomed the new assignment. I was very happy to take it, and I believe that I made a difference.
It's quite interesting because when we talk about contact centers, we always know that people look at the customer always, the customer's experience, the customer's input, the customer's status. We never look on the other side, which is the back office that has to deal with this customer that's not satisfied, that is unhappy, or has a genuine complaint, or just simply grumpy and disgruntled, right? Let's be honest. There are customers who are bored and they just call a call center to vent,
Just talk.
right?
Yeah.
So when we look at that, the perspective of the back office, what are some of the things that you learned, and what are the changes that you think you brought in to the back office?
I think I am a person who likes to talk to people.
Yes, you are. You're the extrovert between us. You like people.
And the human touch is so important to me.
Mhm.
Okay. So, as I mentioned, it was like send me an email, I will respond to you by an email, or give me a call, I'll call you back, etc. So, it was very cold for me.
Mhm.
Everything was scripted, everything was timed because that's one of the KPIs for contact centers. Okay. Now, one of the things that I try to do is to change it. That doesn't mean we don't follow the process, but we engage with the customers, and that's very important. And how did we do that? What I did the first thing, and it was challenging actually to get the approval from the contact center supplier
Okay.
because they get paid by the time that they spend talking to customers, and there are codes for everything.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So the longer they speak to a customer, the more they will be paid.
Yes and no.
Huh.
Okay, because if you talk to a customer, you should not spend too much time talking to the customer because then you will be handling another customer and it's on the number of calls.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All right.
So, anyways, when I started all the terms that they were using, I had no clue what they were talking about. The AHT, the average handling time, the average days to close, ADC, everything was three-letter abbreviated something.
Oh,
And
we
what
know the wonder of abbreviation.
exactly, and what I did actually, I went and I got certified under the COPC. Okay, where
There's another abbreviation. Thank you. Could you tell us what does it mean?
actually I asked.
She's complaining about abbreviation.
But that's
She gives us
but
one.
that's the name of the
What is
organization
what
which
is it?
handles and set the KPIs for contact centers. I went to
Okay.
India actually for a week and I got certified there. It was a very intensive training.
Okay.
Anyway, so this way, at least I learned how to
Okay.
look at things. And we asked for the trainings to be provided by our trainers actually at the company at General Motors, which at that time they willingly did it to improve the information and the knowledge of our agents, which actually made the agents feel, wow, GM cares about us.
Okay, great.
If a customer asks a question, they know what to say, which they didn't have before. We
Because they
don't
have
know
information.
exactly. They have information. They know how to They knew how to handle objections or angry customer, but they didn't know how to answer him based on knowledge or the sign or whatever that he gets on his car. Okay.
Okay.
So this training, and it was given by the way, because always sales tend to be number one, after sales number two.
Mm-hmm.
But the trainings that I gave them, and I gave them curriculums for all,
Mm-hmm.
even for the sales, and the after sale is like technical for non-technical, so they started to understand the basics for the of the cars. If anyone uses any term, they will understand it, and this made them feel good. So instead of being, as I said earlier, just messengers, they become more qualified handlers and advisors of the customer. That's even when we changed the name of the contact center into customer engagement center, and we were the first worldwide to do such a thing.
Wow.
Okay. And by doing this, in improving the knowledge of our agents, some of them actually were hired by some of our dealers, be it in the UAE, Kuwait, Saudi, Qatar. So this give an incentive to other agents to actually stay with us. So our attrition went down from 50%, because we were losing half of the team on yearly basis,
Yeah, you're
into
training them, spending time, effort, and then they leave you to someone else.
exactly, or for them it was a part-time job, let me go somewhere else. It went down to 20%, which is still much better than the global average. So luckily, and I'm very proud to say that we have done an improvement in their morale. We boosted their morale. They
Mhm.
got the confidence.
Because now they look like they have opportunities within the same network.
Of course, and every year, towards the end of the year, which was never done before, we will go recognize them,
Wow.
give them certificates from our director and president, and for them it meant the world. And they will put it, they will post it, etc. We will host them, and we will bring them to Dubai even, or to another area where they will sit at the dealership for the top performance and learn
I
the
remember
business.
I met a couple of those when they came over here, and I used to deal with some of them for a certain process. And I remember, yes, they
Yeah,
came to our office because they were attending a dealer event or something. I
yeah.
remember that.
The dealer conferences, we started to get the best performers. So with all doing all those, they felt engaged and part from within the organization, of the organization. And our satisfaction went from our CSAT score, that's what we call it, the customer satisfaction score. We went from less than 70% to 92 when
Wow,
I left. Yes.
that's big. So now that you're not in the employee seat,
Uh-huh.
okay, you've left the employment world. What is your new venture?
I left the corporate world.
Okay.
And actually, the last year and a half has been very interesting
Mm.
because I stepped back. I actually acknowledged my achievements and switched a bit from the hectic life that we always live when we work in a company. Say whether it's a corporate or a local, you always work hard, or at least for our generation. We always have to run, 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 and work.
Yeah, but there's a pun intended. Perfect generation.
So I decided to, okay, I've done this. What am I going to do next?
Mm.
I'm not one of those people who just want to sit and do nothing. It's not me.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling.
And I want always to be challenged.
Mm.
So what I've done, I know I wanted to open my business, my consultancy mainly, because I want to be on my own, work and think out of the box as I need to. Okay. I started my consultancy, and my focus is the employee engagement, because happy employees, believe it or not, improve customer satisfaction and they retain them for a longer time. And you have a lot of data that proves this. Even the profitability of the
Do you have a
companies.
list for this also?
I do have the data. It's actually maybe in a LinkedIn post.
So she's amongst us both. She's the one who always comes to our episodes with data and lists and percentage. So that's why.
And the other part of my consultancy will be is to work on the organizations to make sure that they break the silos,
Oh.
because we have customers or employee that we need to make sure that they all believe on the same goal, they all have the same vision, they all work together in order for them to deliver a consistent customer experience. You don't want the customer to be hearing something from the sales team different than the after sales, different than the marketing. So that's what I will be focusing on my consult, localizing the customer experience and hopefully breaking all the silos within organizations.
So there are so many consultancy. Let's be honest, okay?
Right.
Everyone now goes out and says, "I'm a consultant. I'm a consultant." Why should I come to Suhair and not go to XYZ for a consultation? What makes you different from the ones out there in the market?
Localization.
Mm.
And why is that? I mentioned it earlier, but because this is, I think, will be the differentiator.
Mm-hmm.
Because localization is not only translation of
Mm-hmm.
the language, it's believing and living what the customer live and understand their values, their culture, the traditions, etc. That's how you can connect with them. Okay. And that's, I think, the key differentiator for me. For me, I understand this culture. I worked in the US, I worked with global companies. So it's going to be a combination of what I know and what I learned, the experience that I gathered on multiple levels.
I kind of connect with you on that because many years ago, when a certain telecommunications company here in the country moved their contact center from UAE to Egypt,
Mm,
and the first 6 months, because the people in Egypt don't know this area. And, we're talking about very, very old times, is where we didn't really have access to Google and all that. So you had to call 181.
true.
Yeah. And to get phone numbers and the like. And you'd ask a question like, "Oh, I want the number to Mall of the Emirates." And they're like, "Which Emirate?" And as a person
Yeah.
who lives in the UAE, is like, "Really? You don't know where the Mall of the Emirates is?" Or if I would call and say which, because if you don't know, I live in Ajman, and I'll be like, "I want the number of Ajman municipality," and they says, "Which Emirate?" And so that I
True.
understand, and then it created a frustration because they couldn't. It's not the fault of the
No,
contact
no, no, no.
center because they haven't been trained then, and it was like, "Really? I'm telling you Ajman municipality and you're asking me which emirate?"
Mm.
And it created a frustration. So I understand the real importance of that culture.
And it's becoming now more important than ever. And I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the economic situation in the region is changing.
Mm-hmm.
The regulation, the policies of the government are changing. Now we have Emiratization, we have Saudization, we have Omanization, etc. So we will have more and more workforce from the locals heading the markets, and the customer needs are changing. And customer needs are not only changing based on nationality, by the way, on the environment that they're working on, because the standards of someone who's living in, for example, I'll take the UAE and mainly Dubai as a city. It's a very cosmopolitan area, correct? So people, when they come and they live here, their expectations even change to become closer to the local
Culture.
culture. They're
Because
the
it's a one community and we just want to be able to match each other.
Yes. So the restaurant that I love or the service I get in the US or in Jordan or in India, maybe it will not be acceptable if I'm here.
Mhm.
I want something better.
Sure.
So that's why it's very important to focus now on this. And I believe it's a niche market that no one is tapping into
Mm.
because, again, I will mention it because we bring a lot from outside, but it doesn't suit our region,
True.
unfortunately.
True. So, my thing is that, you know, what are the changes you are hoping to make other than the localization, the cultural understanding within the corporate itself as companies, and as the culture itself within a company, not within the society?
Within the companies, as I said, first of all, we have to do audit for the customer experience. Now, everyone was talking about customer experience journey mapping.
Okay.
And any part you go, they are copying the same. Customers shop through ABC sites, which doesn't, by the way, work all over the world the same way.
Okay.
Okay. Then when they go and they buy something, you have to go and do this and follow process A, B, C. Sometimes, for example, let me give you an example, test drive. Test drive, maybe it's something that people want in certain areas. In other areas, you can offend them if you offer them a test drive. And that's where you have to find the fine balance. Okay. And it's not only, of course, talking about automotive because of where we came from, but whether banking, whether real estate, whether hospital, medical sectors, etc., you really have to know how to talk and connect with those people who are coming to your facilities or to your buildings or to your company. Now, what we're trying to do and get the best practice, maybe customize it and see what fits this company or this type of business, and you take it from there. Your mapping of the journey doesn't have to be the same for every business, and it shouldn't, even though it's like nowadays they tell you everyone has cholesterol, which is not true. Okay.
No.
It's just we need to be more specific, define what are the outcomes that we want for our type of business, and then put our plans to make it better and retain the customers. How would we do that? Sometimes they come and they tell you, the companies will tell you, I have a process and it's documented, but people don't actually implement it. So it is there, it's
As a legal
documented.
person, I know that struggle of not implementing processes and
Yeah.
procedures. So I know that struggle.
Or they tell you, okay, we have everything, but then your employees are miserable. How can they deliver a good experience to their customers? Because if they're not happy, it's like they say, uh, what you feel actually make the other person feel it. It's like it travels, negative energy.
Energy.
Yeah, it's very important that we have the right state of mind of our employees to make sure that we deliver a good customer experience to
Because
our
even when you talk to customers, you need to defend your company, but in a way that is right.
100%.
And that defense will not come out from a person who doesn't feel a connection with the company, does not feel the loyalty, doesn't. And so if you disconnect the employee from the company, that person will not be the best
No.
representation to your company.
And it shows. Even if they say words, it shows. You will feel that it's not genuine.
Yes. It's like robotic.
Exactly.
I have a script that I'm saying.
Yeah. So again, it's what I will be offering is audit of the customer journey, how their employees are, try to break all the silos, develop business um, action plans, and sometimes, believe it or not, it just take a very, very minor change of something that already exists, and you will see a huge difference. Hopefully, that's what we'll do.
Inshallah. But I have a question to you. So you have the big companies obsessed with hiring big name consultants that are from outside the region.
True.
Okay, from any place outside the GCC. Could be anywhere, right? And they come and run big campaigns. And they come here and they kind of, not all, but a lot of them fall flat on their face. Okay. But these big companies are obsessed with the big names. They're like, oh, they worked for XYZ in the US and they worked for ABC in Europe and they worked for EFG in China, and they're obsessed with the name. How you, as a local company, can sort of break the myth that the best practices needs to be imported from outside and not developed from the inside.
It's not gonna be easy, and it's not easy. Okay, this I assure you. However, I'm gonna be taking baby steps, and I've worked with two entities that have seen the change. And what I'm hoping for is for companies to connect and reach out to me, I can show them what can be done. No, we're not going to force anyone to do anything. But again, with my understanding of what's happening in this region and the connections that we have, and believe it or not now, although you had a lot of companies and big names coming here, and as you said, they're failing, now you have more and more government entities that are actually sourcing local tenant and local startups, etc. So I think now that there is a shift because we need more people who know what's happening in this region. We need to know people who can connect with all different kind of ages, with the culture, because even our cultures are different from one country to the other, as you know. So it's gonna be challenging in the beginning, but I'm sure 2026 will be a good year for me.
Inshallah, we wish you all the best
Thank
with
you.
that, seriously. And if you guys have any questions for Suhair with regards to her expertise, you have any, interest, and you'd like to know more information, we will put our clock and email in the captions for you to reach out to us. Can reach out directly to Suhair and ask her any questions, because this is really interesting. And I like the fact that what Suhair is dealing with, especially with nowadays the obsession with AI, that she is going after the human factor. It is the people. And people are tired of, yeah, it is an ease with AI, but people are tired of robotics and would like to have some empathy, would like to hear and sort of interact with another person. But this other person needs to be able to know how to give what a customer is looking for.
100%. And it's not like we want to forget the technology because we have to merge the two together and find the happy middle.
Yeah, but technology at the end of the day is a tool.
100%.
And so we want to
Yeah.
empower human beings to use that technology.
Yes. Humanize it.
Humanize it. So I hope this was an excellent sort of sneak peek into what Suhair does. And if you want to know more about what she does, then reach out to her directly. We'll put all the captions, all the contacts in our captions, right? And until our next episode, right?
Thank
Clock
you.
up.
Thank you so much.